Hello YouTube, welcome back to another 4-Color Films video. Today we're going to be talking about some of the comics I picked up from my local dealer friend. So I don't know if you have a particular dealer you always work with, or if you have a comic shop that you go to on a regular basis where they know you. But for me, I've always found it's really been a good advantage to get to know the people in your local area, and that includes your local comic shops. That may also include an eBay seller or an eBay marketplace person who lives near you, or an Instagram person, because having someone that's local to you is always a nice bonus, because you can always go look at their books, or they may be easier to move stuff faster to you. So it's always an advantage on that side, and you can get away with kind of negotiating an easier price or a cheaper, a little bit off the top as well too. And so that's the case I usually have with House of Comics, who I met actually online through eBay, because he has a pretty big eBay store presence, and I bought a couple books off him, and he gave me a good deal off a couple of them. So when he's shipping them to me, he found out I was really close to his area. He's in Berkeley, which is not too far from here. And so we got to talking about things and connected over a lot of good old Silver Age comic book talk, and became pals on that side. So he, of course, is also behind the Berkeley Comic Show, which has now been back for a couple of runs, and always a great show. I did miss this last one that happened about 2 weeks ago, but he was kind enough to hold some books for me. And this is what I mean about the nice thing about having like a local comic dealer that knows you, is that they get to know your tastes, and they keep an eye out for things for you, which can be really beneficial and help you get to those kind of gems or those kind of books you've been looking for, and even things that you may not have thought of. If they're a really good dealer, or they know their market, they may find things that you may want that you may not even know existed. So let's run through what we got today. So he knows that I really like Silver Age keys, and particularly first appearances. So he found a couple of cool ones for me, and some fairly obscure ones in this case. This is Rima the Jungle Girl. It's a classic like DC Silver Age. Not really classic because no one really knows this character very much, but it's got a great Joe Kubert cover, which is kind of fantastic. And then he pulled one of these books aside for me, which has been heating up lately because of all the Black Knight talk and his appearance in the Eternals. So this is not his first appearance, but it was his first solo book, I believe. But it has a bit more of his origin, and an origin of the Ebony Blade as well too. So it's kind of being a biggie, and that cover is magnificent. Kind of then this is what I mean by kind of random pulls. And this is not an expensive book. I think this was like $6, which is kind of awesome, but it's a classic Silver Age DC again. But first time that Batgirl ever shows up in the Superman comic book, which is kind of a little bit of a very minor note key, but still kind of cool to see though, and a great cover. And then like a classic Spider-Man cover, which is I love this. Great work by, I think this is, it's either Buscema or Kane. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up again, but I always forget those two. Or maybe it's actually John Romita. Yeah, it's probably John Romita, I think. I'll verify below. I should know this by now, but I forgot. But it's Spider-Man number 98. Great power pose coming down the wall. Looking fantastic. And I love the proportions of his body are like really cool. Always been a great Spider-Man in my book. Another minor key here is Ultron 6 first appearance. And then this cool Action Comics annual, which has got like a bunch of alternate universe Lex Luthors and Brainiacs meeting for the first time. And a bunch of people in there like Marvel, Gil Kane, George Perez worked on this book. So it's a cool book. I didn't even know about it, but he had to pull aside for me because he knew I'd be interested, and he was right. Classic Silver Age, first appearance of the Huntress, which I believe is actually a second one that's close in proximity to the same date, but I have that one, and this one I didn't have, so it's always nice to find a nice, clean copy of it. And the thing I also appreciate about House Comics is they are very good graders too, so he's pretty on the ball when it comes to his grading system, and it's usually exactly what he says it is. Yeah, Creatures on the Loose number 10, which I've been on the lookout for a little while because it is the first appearance of King Kull. I love classic barbarian stuff, so it's a great first appearance to have, and the nice condition one as well. Another super obscure book is a Charlton book called House of Yang. beautiful painted cover. And again, this is something like I've never even heard of this book before, but I mean, looking at it, I was like, yeah, that's cool. It was like, you know, $16 I think it was the price it got down to, and it's just like, look at that beautiful painted cover, like it's amazing. So I'm looking forward to reading this one and having one, see what it's all about. But number one, it's issue number one, in great condition, a white cover too, so hard to find probably in that condition. But so cool. I picked up this gem because I love Animal Man, and so I have a first appearance of Animal Man, which is I think Strange Adventures 180, but this is his first appearance in costume. So that awesome orange and blue costume is right there. And picked up a lovely copy of this because I just, this book is not hard to get and it's not that expensive, but I have like 2 or 3 of them that are like mid to, you know, fine condition, and this one is like a really nice copy of that. So I just want to get a nice one of these on my shelf, or probably get slabbed, but it's a beautiful copy of Shazam #1, which is the first appearance of Shazam in the DCU. So kind of an important issue, I think, which is I think undervalued. And also same goes for that, which is again, you know, not a very expensive book. It's like 20, it was ended up being like 20 something bucks, but great condition. Shogun Warriors #1. First appearance of Shogun Warriors. I'm an 80s kid, so these toys were huge for me. And even though we didn't get Ray Dean, I did get one eventually for my collection later on. And I love this comic and the characters in it. And this beautiful cover of Zatanna, which I think is a Mike Kaluta cover, if I'm not mistaken. Great. It's a giant square bound book. Beautiful condition. The colors are amazing. It's immaculate, and it looks such a lovely cover. I had to get that one. It's not a key, but again, he knows I dig this character and I dig this artist as well too. So great catch there. Picked up another copy of that. This is maybe my 3rd copy of this book, but this is the best quality one I've seen in a long time. First appearance of Star-Lord, of course. Marvel Spotlight #6. And then a giant size Spider-Man with the Punisher, which I think is the 3rd appearance of the Punisher. And there's a first appearance of another character here, like a minor character. I forget who. I think it might be Moses Magnum or something like that. But it's we'll look it up there. But it's a very minor key, but still a great looking book though, and you know, still a great issue to have. And I love the giant size ones anyway. And then the last one I got is Son of Satan, or Marvel Spotlight #12, Son of Satan, which is the first appearance of Son of Satan, I believe, in a book. But I might be wrong. That might be Damon Hellstrom, might have occurred in Ghost Rider, but I think, pretty sure this is first appearance of his, and this is his own book anyway, his origin story. So cool book to have, and I just tickled always the fact that they made a freaking book in the 70s called Son of Satan. Like that's where Marvel was at that time, which is kind of cool that they were actually allowed to do that type of stuff, and just, you know, what the hell, we're gonna run with that anyway. I don't know whose idea that was, but it was fantastic though. So I always appreciate that type of comic. So there you go, have that one. So a couple of doubles, but for the most part, some pretty new stuff, and it's always good to just have a conversation with people around you and just let them know what you're looking for. And there's always seems to be a good helping hand to be able to find stuff you've been missing or find new stuff that you may not have even thought of, because it's a big market and there's lots of cool stuff out there to get. So always good to have a friend in the business, and so that's always what I like to have as well too. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you haven't, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I really would appreciate it. We're getting close to that big 500 number of subscribers, so pretty soon I'm going to announce a giveaway, and we'll probably do a choice again between like silver, modern, and maybe even like older key. So we'll see. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.